Alright, so this is home. This is where we grew up. This is where we had tons of fun memories together. And the weather that we're used to is it being cold in the winter and hot in the summer. And this is Djibouti, where it's much of the opposite. It's hot year-round, and the language of Djibouti is Arabic and French. Those are the official languages, while Somali and Afar are the unofficial languages. The main religion is Islam, with a slight percentage of Christians, not very many in there. The main representative government is the Republic, so they have voted in officials that help take care of them. So now let's go ahead and move on to the economy. In Bangkok, we're going to talk a little bit more about Bangkok. This was my selected hometown in the adopted country of Djibouti. It's a beautiful place, really one of the most beautiful places in Djibouti. It has many different characteristics to it. It's a main shipping industry, and it's mainly known for its palm trees. It has a rare palm tree called the Bangkok palm, Livistonia palm tree. And there's only about 400 species left in the world. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the economy of Djibouti. So in the economy, there is little development with the agriculture, but there is some development within the trading and shipping industry. So within that industry, they're a trading company. They are a very desert country, so they aren't able to grow much vegetables that you would find in other countries, such as where we live in Idaho. So now let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about diseases in Djibouti. So Djibouti is plagued with many diseases such as hepatitis A and E, typhoid fever, tuberculosis, malaria, yellow fever, AIDS, and rabies. And so these diseases have been present in Djibouti for a long amount of time. There's two different kinds of these diseases. There's acute diseases and there's chronic diseases. So acute is a sudden onset of disease that is only temporary. It doesn't last forever. While chronic, once you've acquired it, you have it for the rest of your life. It's a much more debilitating condition that is constantly battled. A good example of this would be AIDS, that is found within this country. So one of the diseases that are bad is malaria. It started in the southern districts of Djibouti in the early 1900s. There was only a few cases spread out here and there, and they began to grow and through the beginning of the 1900s, and so the cases began to go up in frequency between 1900 and about 1970. Both of those, it remained fairly steady, while in about 1988 to 89, it really took off, and it's in the northern districts where it took off. And we'll have a pin there, it'll take us there in just 1 second. But in the northern districts, there was only a few cases reported at first, but then it became a true endemic that affected Djibouti. They were hit hard, and in 1988-1989, there were 7,300 reported cases that affected the country of Djibouti. But fortunately for them, by 1993, there was only about 4,000 cases, so it had dropped significantly. But it's interesting to see that while the cases of malaria dropped in the early 1990s, the cases of tuberculosis increased greatly. There was about 3,700 cases reported in 1992. That is a big jump from the mere 2,000 that was reported in the 1989. So tuberculosis, it has its first hospital built in 1952, and then it was expanded. Actually, a correction. It was built in 1967, but the first program was launched in 1952. Initial capacity of the hospital was only 100 beds, but in 1987, it began to get expanded until it had the capacity of over 210 beds. And